Hello everyone, my name is Angie Poggy, and in this video I'm going to give you an example of how to use summary statistics using a dataset in StatCrunch. So here we have StatCrunch, and let's go ahead and find a dataset that is available for anyone to use. I'm going to be using the US cities and demographics. Let's see, and it's a StatCrunch feature dataset right here. Once you click, it will load and it will open. Let's see. Okay, as you can see, this is a huge table, and the variables are cities, state, median age, male population, female population, total population, number of veterans, foreign born, average house, let's see. Okay, average household size, which is usually how many people live in the household, the state code or the abbreviation, American Indian, Asian, Black or African, a Hispanic or Latino, and white. So these are races, number of people who describe themselves as these ethnicities or races in those cities. Okay, so as you can see, this is a huge data set. It is very hard for me to summarize it, right? So let's go ahead and do some summary statistics to verify. Let's do the female population. So we go into stat, summary statistics, columns, because the variables are organized in columns. So again, I said female population, and group by. Here we have all the variables that we can categorize that estimate by. So in this case, let's do group by state. And here we can select what specific statistic we want to look at. So we have N is the number of observations, mean, and if you click over, you're going to just select here on the box to the right. So if you want to select everything, you can just go ahead and do Control A and select all of the statistics. Or if you want to select a specific statistics, you're going to choose by just clicking and Control plus click, click, click while holding the Control key. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select everything that I discussed in my previous video. Skewness and kurtosis, and of course the mode. Okay, so here we have a good number of descriptive statistics. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the output because my grouping variable was state. So I will have, for each state, I'm going to have the number of cities, the mean of the female population, the variance of female populations in that state, the standard deviation, median, range, and all the descriptive statistics that I selected. Again, still a big deal, but this is a great idea of how the distribution of female population are in the United States. Let's go ahead and narrow it down by just selecting, editing the same summary statistics that we have here. But let's do, instead of grouping by, we're going to just select the state of Texas. So it will be female populations in the state of Texas. So state equals and we select here under values. These are the values that are already in the data set. We said Texas. Let's find Texas. And we add. As you can see, the expression is created. A state equals Texas. Okay, so again, we're going to do the summary statistics for the female population variable, specifically in the state of Texas. Here we have the one row because it's just for the state of Texas. The summary statistics for the female populations in Texas. There are 57 cities in our data set. The mean or the average is this number, which is 126,954 females with a variance of 3.9 and a standard deviation of this 198,472, which is a big standard deviation here. Then we have the median, which is 60,000, and then we have the range, which it looks like is over 1 million. So that means that the maximum number is over 1 million and the minimum number is in the 33,000. So there's that difference. It will be 1,148,942 minus 33,000. So that's why the range is so spread, is so big. Then we have the Q1 and Q3, and as we learned, the IQR, which is the interquartile range, is 54,000 because it's Q3 minus Q1. Skewness is 3.58, which is a positive skew, and kurtosis is 14, which is greater than 0. So that means the mound of the peak is high and there is no mode. Let's go ahead and do a stem plot. To do so, we go to graph, under graph, stem and leaf, and we do for the same variable, female, and because we want to compare the summary statistics, we're going to use the same parameters. So we're going to select the variable female population, where, and the same where statement. So it will be state equals Texas. As you can see, again, the expression gets populated, state equals Texas, and then we click OK and we compute. As you can see here, this is the stem plot or stem and leaf plot, and it's telling you that the leaf unit here is 10,000. So that means that there are many cities with 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 40,000, 40,000, etc. Same thing here, because there are zeros, so we only count the leaf. 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, they're in the 70s, 80s, and 90,000. And then here we go where the stem is an additional unit. StatCrunch automatically shows the high numbers, which could be possibly identified as outliers later on. With a leaf of 10,000, having a big number like this one of 1 million is definitely an outlier, and so that's why StatCrunch put it down here as a high number. Okay, you can always change the leaf unit. And then as you can see, the leaf unit here is 100,000, which is not appropriate for this distribution because there are numbers in the 30,000 range. So that's why for the sense of practice, as an example, it was good to look at that, but the preferred unit is 10,000. We will continue with our example on summary statistics, looking at the female population in the state of Texas for this data set of US cities and demographics. Let's go ahead and do frequency tables. So the frequency tables are found under the stat menu. You can go here, tables, frequency. Again, we would use the same parameters. Female population, where state, until you see a populator here, equals Texas. Okay, and as you can see, it gives you the options of frequency, relative frequency, or percent, or cumulative frequency, or cumulative relative frequency. I'm going to just leave frequency or relative frequency for the sense of this example. As you can see, lots of unique numeric values for female population because it's a quantitative variable. Want to turn binding for this procedure? Yes, definitely, that's what we want. We want to create the class intervals. As you can see here, StatCrunch created the class intervals for you. So we have the female population between 0 to, how many zeros we have here? We got 3 to 200,000. So between 0 to 200,000, there are 51 cities. And between 200,000 to 400,000, there's one city. 400,000 to 600,000, two cities, and so on. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do a histogram, again for the same variables. So the histogram can be found also under graph. Histogram, female population, where you know that they're already, state equals Texas, and compute. And here we have the histogram that really describes what we already discovered using the summary statistics. As you can see here, the skewness, the skew is positive 3, and as you can see, if we do a normal overlay, we will see that the majority of the data is concentrated to the left of the mean. In my histograms, I like to overlay the normal distribution to better identify any differences or better describe it. So you can go under options, edit, and go back to the same settings or options that you have when creating your histogram, and you can overlay distribution normal. Okay, so compute, and here we go. Here you see that a normal distribution should look like this. And last but not least, let's go ahead and do a box plot. Under graph, we can select box plot. Again, same parameters. Female population, where state equals, oh, right here, you can just set this, equals Texas, because I have used it so many times, so it's already in the history. Okay, and let's compute and see how it looks like. Wow, okay. So this is very interesting. As you can see, the box plot shows Q1 minus Q3, which is the interquartile range. However, all these dots over here are might be considered outliers. It looks, as we already found out in the histogram, it looks like most of the values are concentrated here in the 30,000, 40,000 numbers. And so that's why, as you can see, the box per se, it's right here, just below 100,000, just below 200,000. Okay, so this is how the box plot will look like for the distribution of female population in the state of Texas using the US cities and demographics feature dataset in StatCrunch.